Broadcasting live from the Reynolds Newsroom. Good afternoon, everyone, and today we have a very interesting topic. Interesting indeed. The media restriction in North Korea is best summed up as a controlled by the government and one that has multitude to create a society based on oppression. So, we're saying that the media is still restricted in the country of North Korea. And that's right. North Korea is a dictatorship, and rather than focusing on the importance of the individual, they focus on the importance of the group. Let's take a closer look at how this actually works, from restricted internet access to restricted media coverage. The North Korean government is one that likes to hide a great deal from its citizens. So why is the media so restricted in North Korea? According to Nainara News, Kim Jong-un's key to victory was censorship in North Korea, which ranks among some of the most extreme in the world, with the government able to take strict control over communications. North Korea is ranked at the bottom of Reporters Without Borders' annual Press Freedom Index, occupying last place in 2017. As well as this, according to Tech Insider, the internet in North Korea is closed, and only a certain people are allowed to access it in the first place. It is called Kwangmyeong, and it is free for public use. However, total number of users is estimated no more than a few thousand. There is only one internet service provider, Star Joint Venture Co., and it is walled off with 5,500 sites at the most. Websites include state-run news, a broadcasting station, and Kyokyo, North Korea's airline. And the state insurer, the real internet access is reserved for the government officials and other important people as well, all routed through China. As well as this, even owning a computer requires permission from the government. All personal computers are registered with the police. There are only 2 email providers, and foreigners can access internet through a 3G network run by Korealink. As well as this, according to the infographics, the city of North Korea only have 3 main sources of knowledge when it comes to the outside world: movies, schooling, and the radio, which are all heavily mandated by the government. So as you can see, North Korea has some unhealthy relations with their citizens. However, we have no idea how the citizens feel about this. Well, when you ask about tourism, wouldn't you think that's a way where you can see inside the country and see what's going on? However, not exactly. According to an article by John Connell with the School of Geosciences, he had a resource group take a North Korean tour, and according to them, tourism is what we can call political theater in North Korea because it is all staged. In other words, it's fake. Well, what about the recent summit? Well, according to the New York Times, the technicalities of the summit between Kim Jong-un and US President Donald Trump, typically, the news coverage on outside events as far as current events in the country go, there is often no report. However, this was a change when the summit happened, which is unlike North Korea, which makes this intriguing. Well, what exactly happened that makes this so out of the ordinary? Well, you see, according to CNA, it begins on a normal day. However, North Korea's famous lady in pink announced Kim Jong-un's departure to Singapore on a Chinese plane. She also referred to Donald Trump by his full name, including his initial. This report on state TV was made up of a series of photos showing Kim commemorating a guard of honor at Pyongyang Airport before he boarded Air China, showing the arrival of Kim at the airport and then greeting Singapore's Foreign Affairs Minister. Followed soon after by Kim greeting the Prime Minister Lee Heng-long at the Istana. On top of that, these photos were published all on Overlook North Korean news, where typically citizens in North Korea are unbeknownst to what is going on outside of their country. Also, didn't the North Korean KNCA announce that the summit would take place in a changed era? And basically, what that means is there might be a possible leading to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
Kim Jong-il's reign in North Korea ended with this massive and tearful display of official mourning. The great successor was his youngest son, Kim Jong-un, then in his mid-20s. A new generation, it was hoped, but so far the same outlook: hostility towards the outside world, especially South Korea and the United States. And with the world's 4th largest army, North Korea continues its military-first policy. Perhaps the most important message this regime is trying to send at home and abroad is that this new leader is adored by his people. The young Kim's leadership is constantly reinforced by a lavish state media. Videos like this one show an army officer wiping his eyes, overcome with emotion, as Kim Jong-un speaks personally to him. Even the television announcer is emotional as she proclaims this to be a historic moment for these soldiers. And recently, the regime has ratcheted up the propaganda just as it's ratcheted up its threats. And this is how a cult of personality is born and nurtured. We see soldiers and their families at a military outpost running to greet Kim Jong-un. He hugs and kisses the little children who surround him. The crowds in front of the camera grow, and when they gather to say goodbye, many are seen openly weeping. And then, as Kim boards his boat to leave, soldiers ran frantically down the beach to say goodbye to their leader, even plunging into the icy water in their uniforms to show how much they adore him. He waves benignly and gestures paternally for them to go back to dry land. As the boat pulls away, the announcer says their leader has confidence that he can win a war against American soldiers. And that's a theme that continues to play out on North Korean television these days. As it has always been in North Korea, a Kim is everywhere. Poring over maps with his generals, scoping out possible targets, even taking up arms himself. Here, Kim visits with smiling troops who perform a song and dance routine for him. And he tells them to train hard, because war could happen at any time. The announcer says we will wipe out our enemies so they cannot survive. The regime is determined to show that North Korea is strong and ready to fight, even if it comes down to hand-to-hand combat. North Korean television showcases the might of the military and the weapons, including these tanks and missiles that were shown just today. But nobody really knows how many of these were set up, how many were photoshopped, even if these missiles are real. But the message is clear. North Korea and Kim Jong-un are trying to show the world that they're on top and ready for anything.